Good morning. Thank you, Tara. Susan, we are blessed to have you here today to share your story with us. And Mr. Kraft, thank you for your dedication and leadership on this important cause. I appreciate the opportunity to share my story with all of you today. I don't have an advanced education or background in understanding anti-Semitism, and I don't have the platform to single-handedly tackle the issue of hate. And perhaps this, what I don't have, is precisely why I've been asked to stand before you today. I don't have my brothers, Cecil and David, anymore because of what occurred on October 27th, 2018 at the Tree of Life Synagogue. I'm the proud daughter of Ellie and Joy Rosenthal and the proud sister of Cecil, Diane, and David. I was raised in the tight-knit Jewish community of Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up going to the synagogue on Fridays and Saturdays with my grandma and brothers. As we grew, my brothers continued going to services every Sabbath long after my grandma had passed. They were some of the most dedicated congregants and often were there early to greet people. So on Saturday, October 27th, 2018, our Sabbath, when my husband and I were planning to run our weekly errands, everything felt normal. We lived 3 blocks from the Tree of Life. On that quiet morning, I came downstairs and my husband remarked that something must be wrong because of all of the sirens he was hearing. My curiosity piqued for a bit, but I knew we were okay because we lived in the quiet and safe neighborhood of Squirrel Hill. We got in the car and my husband's phone notified him of a text. My family's life would forever change at that moment. The text read, "Active shooter at Tree of Life Synagogue." I screamed, "The boys are there." Immediately, I contacted my sister and my parents and headed towards the synagogue. I only made it 1 block from my house before I was stopped by the police. The details of my worst nightmare were unfolding. At the scene, we were told that the shooter was repeatedly screaming, "All Jews must die." The boys, my brothers, Cecil and David, they both had Fragile X, a genetic condition that causes intellectual disability, behavioral, and learning challenges. That condition did not define them. I knew they were different. My whole family knew. But my amazing parents and their wisdom and love ensured that the boys were part of our family and they would be treated equally. What I failed to realize is that they were not equal, but far better than most in our world. They had a strong sense of connection to their Jewish identity and community. They flawlessly exhibited characteristics that most never achieve in a lifetime: inquisitive, trusting, thankful, kind, loving, and compassionate. They were raised at home until their adulthood, when they moved to a group home in our neighborhood within Pittsburgh, the City of Champions, the nickname given to Pittsburgh for our numerous championship sports teams. But I am well aware that there are other cities of champions. Not only have we been the City of Champions, where our sports teams have long been the connective tissue of the city, but we are a city of bridges that span over our 3 large rivers. Those rivers often divide these historic ethnic neighborhoods and are likely the reason that Squirrel Hill has remained for many generations as the center of Jewish life. But after the shooting, I witnessed something very special and uplifting occur. I saw a city culturally divided by rivers and bridges come together as one. In one heart-pounding moment, neighbors crossed all their preconceived divides to help comfort and serve one another. Although I was overwhelmed by the heartache and tragedy of the day, I found an unexpected source of strength in the solidarity in which my city stood against hate and their care for those of us left grieving such a terrible loss. We witnessed the Pittsburgh sports teams come together to stand stronger than hate. My career began in politics and government and then transitioned to sports when I worked for the Pittsburgh Steelers in community relations. In 2015, I started my own consulting firm, which has allowed me to continue to work with athletes and the greater sports community. My experience has taught me how impactful the platform of sports can be to reach, connect, and affect positive change. After the shooting, my journey led me to become a part of the Eradicate Hate Global Summit, which was formed by Pittsburgh community leaders following 10/27. In the few years since its founding, the summit has become the largest multidisciplinary gathering in the world of experts countering hate. Just 2 weeks ago, we concluded our third summit with over 1,000 attendees and 25 working groups. Through the summit, I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people who all share a common bond. One of those individuals was United Nations Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide, Alice Indiritu, who suggested the creation of a summit working group focused on sport. I agreed to co-chair that working group along with her and summit co-chair Laura Ellsworth. That group now includes representatives of every major league in the United States, NASCAR, FIFA, teams around the world, as well as our host, the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. The game plan that our working group produced was launched at the United Nations in December of last year, and the Blue Square campaign is one of the strategies recommended in that game plan. We are currently working with the United Nations to take that game plan around the world. The events that have occurred in Israel over the past week have reaffirmed my drive to stand against anti-Semitism. Watching the horrors of innocent Jewish people die while living their lives is incomprehensible to many, but familiar to me. What happened in Pittsburgh was the largest loss of life in an anti-Semitic attack in US history. What we witnessed last week in Israel was the largest loss of life in any anti-Semitic attack since the Holocaust. The platform of sports has such a huge following, and we have an opportunity to affect change. Words matter. The lesson I learned from the way my brothers lived and their legacy is that we all have more growth to do in the simple ways of acceptance, compassion, and seeing other people with no judgment. Cecil and David did not know hate until the last minutes of their lives. Cecil and David, good men who lived good lives. The world should follow their example. Thank you.